Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Frostburg Experience. I'm Alexa Nawadney. On today's show, we'll take an inside look at the theater department, and we'll visit with an upperclassman and a graduate student for our Meet a Bobcat segment. Finally, we'll be talking with Frostburg State University President Dr. Gibraltar about campus improvements during his tenure at Frostburg. But first, we'll hear about American record holder in swimming, Zach Shattuck. He's a member of the Frostburg State University men's swim team, but he's not your typical collegiate swimmer. Here's more.
For most athletes, they spend their 4 years in high school playing a sport they want to further pursue at the next level. However, Zach Shattuck came into his freshman year of college with no serious background experience in the pool.
My first impression of the Frostburg swim team was they seemed like a good group of people. They all seemed nice and seemed to get along, and they were totally accepting of me when I came and first introduced myself, and they all seemed really eager to help me reach my goals. The coaching staff includes Coach Justin Anderson and Coach Jimmy Martin, and they've been great. I called up Coach Anderson at the beginning of the school year and asked him if I could have an opportunity to swim on the team as I was trying to just improve my times for Rio, and he was totally accepting of that. And then when I met Coach Martin, he was totally accepting too, and he was a big help throughout the season. He was one of the main guys that helped me the most.
Zach knew this would be a difficult task with his disability and inexperience in the water. But with hard work, he managed to surprise everyone, including himself.
There's definitely some guys on the team that inspire me to do better and push me to do better every day, and I wouldn't be here without them. Outside of the pool, I lift, usually with some fellow teammates. We do a lot of Olympic lifts and a lot of bench press and squat. If you set a goal, then you should do it. You can do anything you set your mind to. I didn't swim before, and this past year I set out a goal that I wanted to go to the Paralympics in Brazil. And now I'm striving to achieve that goal, and it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of determination, and you have to have a good group of friends and teammates and coaches to help you along the way.
After completing his first season, Zach not only fit well with the team and had successful meets, but he was able to set multiple American records. He was familiar with being underestimated and knew it was just another obstacle to overcome.
I'm sure that people underestimated me. They underestimated me when I play a lot of sports, including soccer and wrestling. So I don't see why it's any different in swimming. You see someone shorter stature and you just kind of size them up and you're like, okay, this guy's not going to be as good. But you can't do that. You just got to judge based on how they do and how they compete.
Because of Zach's success, he was able to qualify for the Can-Ams in Toronto.
I had the opportunity to swim in Toronto because in our past meet in Champs, I swam a time that qualified me for the Can-Ams in Toronto. And so I went out there over spring break, March 20th to the 22nd, and I swam in the 50 free, 100 free, 400 free, 100 back, and 100 breast, and I did very well.
At this rate, Zach hopes to qualify for the Paralympics in Rio de Janeiro in 2016.
I feel very good about the Paralympics in Rio. I'm happy with where I am right now, and I'm hoping that over the summer and this upcoming season are big steps towards where I want to get to, and that eventually will lead to Rio.
Zach plans to continue his hard work to help better prepare himself for future competition. For the Frostburg Experience, I'm Blake Rudzian.
Hello. We're joined in the studio today by Zach Shattuck. Welcome to the show, Zach.
Thank you guys for having me. It's a great time to be here.
Thank you. Well,
yeah.
How long have you been swimming?
I have only been swimming for one competitive season. This year was my first year ever swimming competitively.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you satisfied with how your first season went?
I am more than satisfied. This first year was unbelievable. I can't wait to see what happens next year.
Could you tell us a little bit about what the average practice is like and what the program here at Frostburg is like?
Yeah, sure. So normally when we start practices, we usually start off with an ab workout, usually first 15 or 20 minutes, and then we'll get into our warm-up set, and then that kind of leads into the main sets, which usually between 2,500 and 4,000 yards of practice. Wow. And then we'll finish with some sort of warm-up or cool down.
Okay. And do you see yourself swimming all 4 years of your college career?
I think so. It depends on how, because the Paralympics are in 2016, which will be next year, my sophomore year. And depending on how I do there, if I might, I probably will swim all 4 years, depending on if I compete competitively internationally or not, then that'll have a big determination on what I do in the future.
Of course. Now, Zach, do you have any advice for people who want to get into swimming?
People that want to get into swimming, my biggest advice is just, you kind of got to go for it. Like, when you think about like swimming as a sport, it's like, some people might think of it as boring and just kind of like only for people who can really like do it. But it's a really easy sport to like pick up and learn fast. Like that's what I did, because I couldn't really swim before this season. And I just say you got to go with it and just have fun.
Okay. And what ultimately is your end goal, Zach?
My end goal is to make it to the 2016 Paralympics in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. That would be my biggest goal that I set at the beginning of the year.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your story with us.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Sure. I want to wish you the best of luck in accomplishing all of your goals.
Thank you.
When we come back, we'll take a behind-the-scenes look at an FSU theater production, and we'll visit with a representative from the theater department. All that and more after these messages.
Bring out the action hero in you. Fuel up right and get energized. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
You realize that 49 million Americans struggle with hunger? That's 1 out of every 6 Americans.
These people are around us every day. They're our friends, they're our coworkers, their kids go to school with our kids.
Sometimes we're not even aware that they're struggling. This problem is closer than you think. So is the solution.
Give a gift of meals to a family in need. Visit feedingamerica.org/giveameal today.
My name is Fernanda. I'm the wife of a teacher. Budget cuts affected my husband's salary, so I'm picking up some part-time work. We're doing everything we can to make sure our kids eat today. Tomorrow, I just don't know. Fernanda, how'd I do?
Well, I usually fold the underwear first.
I meant the acting, but good to know.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Welcome back. I'm Mark Langley. Now we're going to take a quick behind-the-scenes look at the production process for an FSU theater production. Let's join Trevor Klein out in the field for this story.
Every semester, sometimes twice or more, this specific lobby fills to the brim with viewers prepared to laugh, cry, and overall be entertained by the students of Frostburg State University. We stopped by the campus's own Performing Arts Center to explore the effort, skill, and passion that goes into any theatrical production, on the parts of both the actors and the crew. While it is common knowledge that any stage performance doesn't begin on opening day, the work that goes into a production is often overlooked.
No.
It's true this latest class.
Okay, let's fix that. Do you know what just happened? What? You two stopped right there, and those guys had to sidle in behind you. Okay, the arch has got much narrower. You're going to have to come in further, so let's take your entrance again.
From set design and construction, to directing, the props department, and of course stage management. The rehearsal process is where the show is fully perfected.
I've always been a storyteller. I've always liked telling stories, even when I was younger.
We spoke to Shazeb Hussein to find out more about the method of an actor.
In my life, like people I've met who are actors as well, yeah, some alumni that went here before. Okay. But anyone that I look up to or that's actually in the real world, I would have to, like, hands down, Robin Williams. The fighting I've done in this show and the fighting they've like prepared me for, that was just a really fun process. I really loved it. I've been in Stage Combat Club for three and a half years now here. And we've done all from broadswords to single swords to rapier and dagger, quarterstaffs, and we've been, trained in that. And so coming into this show with sword fighting, it was just all fun. And I was like happy to help anyone who needed help, and I actually got so much help from the people who were like over me. So it was just a fun process altogether. The little things that you can put into the character, that you can search it from yourself, or you just find that you think that this is what the character would do. Just the little things.
While the Performing Arts Center appears to become more and more frantic every day, it's definitely apparent that passion, dedication, and creativity are present on any given occasion. For the Frostburg Experience, I'm Trevor Klein.
Thank you, Trevor. To learn more about experiences available through the theater department, we have Professor Nicole Mattis. Welcome.
Thank you.
Nicole, could you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I've been at Frostburg since 2001, and I teach theater classes in the areas of acting, voice and movement. I also teach some introductory theater courses, and I'm also a chair of the department right now.
Okay, sounds good. How long have you worked in a theater environment?
I've worked in theater for about 23 years.
And what would you say, what's it like to act and direct?
Yeah, so for me, acting and directing is like taking an adventure every single night that you're in the theater. I've never walked into a rehearsal, or I should say when I've walked into rehearsals feeling tired, I've always walked out feeling super energetic. So it's like having an energy drink at the end of a rehearsal each night.
Is there a specific role in the theater you enjoy more than others?
I love performance. I also like teaching, acting, and voice and movement. I love coaching shows, and I also enjoy directing. So that didn't really answer your question, but I would have to say that those are the focus areas I enjoy the most.
Okay. Do you have a particular piece that you enjoyed working on?
Recently, I got a chance to direct a production of A Year with Frog and Toad, which is based on the Arnold Lobel children's series from the 1970s. And it was turned into a really, really sweet, jazzy musical. And that process was really exciting because we had a lot of students on the production team who took on major roles in choreography, costume design, and properties design, and sound design. And watching the kids enjoy that show was just so riveting and exciting, in addition to the rehearsal process itself.
It sounds exciting.
It was a lot of fun.
What element of theater do you enjoy most?
What element of theater? Performance, definitely performance. There was a friend I had years ago, and when we were talking about acting, she said when she performs, she feels like she uses every cell in her body. And for me, that's true. You're using your mind, your voice, your body to convey the world of a character, and it's just very exhilarating.
Okay, interesting. What made the theater department offer incoming students in the upcoming semesters?
Well, theater and dance offers a lot. So we have a lot of introductory courses that would appeal to students. A couple of our courses are in the GEP. But we also have an acting course that's very popular. It's called Theater 110 Introduction to Acting, and that's a wonderful, wonderful arena to learn about the craft of performance. We also have classes in design and technology, so if students are interested in the field of art, they can learn about the visionary process behind theater. And we have a great production season, and next season we have the fall opening up with The Mousetrap, a children's production of Junie B. Jones the musical, which is going to tour with local schools. We have Coney Island Christmas, which will be a new holiday show. We're doing To Kill a Mockingbird, and we are doing a musical called Title Show. And in addition to that, we have 2 dance concerts that will be performed.
Okay, well, sounds like you guys have a lot in store.
Do.
I want to thank you for coming out and taking the time to join us today. It was great to learn more about the production in the theater.
Thank you for having me.
When we come back, 2 students will join us in our Meet a Bobcat segment. Please join us after this quick break.
Oh, sweetheart. Gonna give you a hand?
No thanks, Dad. I got it.
Okay. I'm gonna go fix the lamp in your room.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
I know, 2 seconds. Hang on, just stand still. Stand still. One second. Just okay, go, go, go. Boys, hang on, boys.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these 2. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're gonna be hanging out a little bit more.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
The only triple doubles you get come with fries.
Last time you blocked someone, you were online.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool.
Not cool.
Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
Welcome back. For each episode of the Frostburg Experience, we try to hear from current FSU students in our segment called Meet a Bobcat. Today I'm joined by graduate student Jimmy Martin and senior James Tyson. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
James, let's start with you. Why did you choose Frostburg State?
The reason why I chose Frostburg State was because my senior year, actually someone came up to my school and like kind of persuaded me to go check it out. And I went to the preview and I enjoyed the scenery and the people were nice, so I went with it.
Okay. Jimmy, where'd you go for your undergraduate degree?
I went to St. Bonaventure in upstate New York.
Okay, why did you choose to come to Frostburg?
Well, actually, Frostburg and St. Bonnie's is pretty similar with the weather and everything, and with the amount of people. So I've always felt comfortable with a smaller group, smaller community, because you get to know people, and that's pretty much why I chose it.
Okay, let's get back to James. Do you have any plans after you graduate?
Yes, I plan to be a media manager and to pretty much take off with my business. I have like co-owned business with 2 of my friends, so I plan for us to take off on that.
Well, hopefully that works out for you, sir.
Thank you. Charles Savant, watch out.
Jimmy, how would you compare St. Bonaventure to Frostburg?
Like I said, the weather, we get like 90 inches of snow here a year, so we're up by Buffalo, so I'm pretty used to the snow. And like I said, like people, like it's close-knit community, just like St. Bonnie's. Like I remember seeing my friends going to class all the time, so it's pretty similar here.
Indeed, it's a small campus.
Yeah.
Okay, James, what's your favorite memory of Frostburg, and what will you miss the most when you graduate?
That's a good question. My favorite memory probably would be, I think we took like a trip to New York, like my sophomore year. The school had a trip to New York, and we spent like 8 hours up there, like doing whatever we wanted. It was pretty cool. So I say probably that's my favorite memory.
Very interesting. Okay, Jimmy, is there anything in particular you missed about St. Bonnie's?
Man, I miss my teammates the most. I swam all 4 years there, best time of my life. So I really miss those guys. I'm going to try to come back and visit them soon. So.
Well, I hope that works out for you.
Yeah, thank you.
It sounds like St. Bonnie's was a great school.
Yeah, man, it was really nice, really nice.
Where are you pursuing your master's degree in?
I'm in interdisciplinary education. So that's it's counseling psychology and then kinesiology. So I want to get into personal training. So I figure that's a good route to go.
That's interesting. What made you want to pursue that?
Well, I've always been into fitness my whole life, so it was just like a no-brainer. Like usually it's hard to decide what you want to do, but like it's just always been my passion, so.
Okay, very good. Back to you, James.
All right.
What about you? What will you be earning your degree in?
Management, and my minor will be computer science.
Okay, anything in particular you want to do with that?
Yeah, like my goal is to be an associate director of media, so pretty much be the person that like finance and pretty much preview the work before everyone else does, and like delegate like my co-workers. So
that sounds great. I'm glad to hear you both are experiencing success and developing your careers so much so early. I want to wish you both the best of luck, and thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Now let's go back to Alexa, who is joined in the studio by FSU President Dr. Jonathan Gibraltar. Dr. Gibraltar will be discussing some of the many campus improvements that have occurred since he took over at FSU in 2005. Alexa.
Thanks, Mark. Today, Dr. Gibraltar is here to talk about campus improvements. Welcome back, Dr. Gibraltar. What was campus like when you first got here?
Well, Alexa, when I got to Frostburg in 2006, the campus was not in the best of shape. The residence halls hadn't been renovated in decades. The building that used to be on the site of CCIT, Tawes Hall, had opened in the late 1960s. Many of the buildings on campus, the Lane Center, which was built in 1974, had never been renovated. The press box building at Bobcat Stadium was really a wreck. The bleachers at Bobcat Stadium were unsafe. So in 2006, 9 years ago when I arrived, honestly, the campus was a bit of a mess.
Gotcha. Is there any project you perhaps would be most proud of since you've been at Frostburg?
Yeah, presidents always think about bricks and mortar projects, the things that they are most proud of. Honestly, I think the CCIT building where the show is being broadcast from is a point of pride. It's a $70 million building built with tax dollars from the state of Maryland. It is probably one of the best academic facilities that I've ever stepped foot in. In addition, Compton Hall is one of the best science facilities I've ever seen. And even our Performing Arts Center, which opened in 1993, has 3 spectacular performance venues for theater and music.
What do you think you would be most remembered for in regards to campus improvements?
Oh gosh, that's a hard question. You know, I honestly, when I think about the 9 years I've been at Frostburg, I hope the thing that I'm most remembered for are changing the culture of this university and putting students front and center at this university. When I got here, there was a belief that Frostburg could never recruit quality students like yourself. And I think we've shown over these past 9 years that we can raise academic standards, improve retention and graduation rates, and really make Frostburg a contender in American higher education. So with all of the buildings and projects that have been renovated or built new on campus, I think I'm most proud of changing the public's perception of the university through its students.
Interesting, interesting. Was there anything that you would have liked to have accomplished?
Well, I'm really pleased about the fact that we did get approval this year in the fiscal 2016 General Assembly session for construction of a new university police headquarters. The university police had been operating out of a schoolhouse built in 1951. So beginning this June 1st, a new $5.5 million university police headquarters will go under construction. Maybe if I have to reflect on a disappointment, we do have in the governor's budget a new College of Health Science and education building, but that's been pushed ahead a little bit. It's not supposed to be designed until 2019 and under construction until 2020 to open in 2021. To me, that seems too far in the future, and I won't have an opportunity to see that building come to fruition.
Yes. What would you like to see after you've left?
I'd like to see the reputation of Frostburg continue to flourish nationally. I'd like to stay connected to the university and its students. And I'd like to see Frostburg recognized as a very serious player in the university system of Maryland, as a very serious comprehensive regional university, not an orphan stepchild in the system where most of the resources go to College Park and the medical center. I'd really like to see Frostburg State University get more resources than they currently do to help build it into a stronger campus with a national reputation.
Could you now explain to us the process behind erecting a new building on campus?
Oh my, it's a long process, Alexa. To be honest, first we have to do a market analysis to be sure that the building that there's a need for it, and the programs in the building, is there a need for it? Then we have to work with the Division of Budget and Management in the state of Maryland to put together what we call a program for the building, which is usually a couple of hundred pages. And then we go through a process where we have to answer a lot of questions with state officials. Why do you need it? Is it enough space? Are you going to be able to recruit students to the programs you're going to bring into the building? And then once they approve that, we have to do a second building document for that same agency, which ultimately gets approved. Finally, we have to go to the Bureau of Public Works. We have to be approved by the University System of Maryland. We have to be approved by the Maryland Higher Education Commission. Most people don't know this, but from the time we have an idea for a new building on this campus, it could take 10 years until we actually put a shovel into the ground. And through that 10 years, we are constantly having to prove ourselves. And then beyond that, where do we fit in the greater scheme of Maryland education projects, where there are 11 campuses, including Shady Grove and the University System of Maryland at Hagerstown, and how do we get bumped up in the queue to make sure that our projects become as high a priority as their projects? It's not a process for the faint of heart, but at the end of the day, you can see that the state of Maryland does its due diligence, and when they spend $70 to $100 million on a project, I think you can see that it's money very well spent.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Gibraltar, for coming in and talking to us about campus improvements. Dr. Gibraltar, I love all of our new buildings here on campus. And thank you for watching this episode of the Frostburg Experience. I'm Alexa Nawadney.
And I'm Mark Langley. We'll see you next time.